Basically, any questions I didn't cover during my presentation or anything you want to talk about Nissan, our relationship with Polyphony, with PlayStation, or of course GT Academy, please ask lots of questions. I'm here for 15 minutes, I think, so I'll try and answer as many questions as I can.
You play games yourself, or was this first introduction into the car sim market?
I wasn't a big gamer. I was a fan of gaming. I can't say I sat for hours and hours and hours on it, but I'd say I'm pretty good. But yeah, I immersed myself in Gran Turismo because of this program, and yeah, so I'm not a traditional gamer, and that's the great thing about the program is we've got gamers on one side, we've got motorsport and motoring guys on the other side, and we've worked well together over 5 years. And just think, I mean, the quote at the beginning of the GT Academy presentation is a real one. This is either the stupidest idea ever, I think we proved that one wrong, or the best co-promotion in the history of mankind. And having three big companies, Sony, Nissan and Polyphony, to have the relationship we've had over 5 years in this program is incredible. So it has been a really good balance between gamers and racing drivers, but the gamers like racing and the racing guys like gaming, so we work well together.
So this guy Lucas, just to be precise, he was a GT Academy winner.
Yes.
And then he went on to win or become second at Le Mans.
Yeah, he won GT Academy in 2008. His prize was to race at the Dubai 24 Hours in a Z, so the 350, the one before this. And that was supposed to be the end of the programme. That was going to be it. We were going to stop then. We saw how good he was, and we thought, okay, hang on a minute.
How good was he?
Hey, he was very good. He was good enough for me to put my balls on the line and find money for him for his next racing season. The first year of racing, he came second in the GT4 European Cup in a 350Z, so very good. The team won the team's championship, and then only 18 months after that, he was racing at Le Mans, first time at Le Mans. And he managed to get on the podium. He was second at Le Mans in the Le Mans Prototype 2 class, which is the class of Nissan engines, Honda engines at the time as well. So yeah, within a short space of time. But as I say, Jan, he'd never been to a race circuit before. We took him to Le Mans as part of the race camp 2 years ago, exactly to the day, 2 years, and he'll be racing at Le Mans. So from PlayStation to Le Mans, hopefully maybe we can get him on the podium. That would be the aim. It's 22 cars in the class, so it's not going to be easy. A lot of good teams and a lot of good drivers. But imagine that, from PlayStation to podium at Le Mans in exactly 2 years. It's unthinkable, but it's being done.
How do your competitors see this thing happening? I mean,
well, if I was a competitor today, I shouldn't say it, but I'd be pretty pissed off because there was lots of Nissan activity, and but you can see how much the industry likes the Gran Turismo franchise because everybody's here, everybody's bought cars along, there are executives here. But yeah, I'm sure there's, why didn't we think of that? The scratch of the head. And I'm sure within the next couple of years someone else will do this program, whether it is with a manufacturer, whether it's with a gaming company, or whether it's somebody doing it for financial gains through a different simulator group. Someone else will do this because it works. We've seen it works. And now there's the opportunity to expand it. Good luck to it. And the more people doing this, the better for us in terms of telling the story about how do you take people from virtual to real. So I guess the manufacturers might be looking at doing what we're doing.
So the three biggest problems going from virtual to real. What's that?
Three biggest problems.
I mean,
honestly, they're
hurdles or whatever.
Honestly, the only thing they've got to learn is the physical demands on the body. You know, and I don't mean that they're unfit, but you know, they're moving around in the car, and you know, doing 2 or 3 laps around here, no problem. Doing an hour and a half stint in the dark is something completely different. That's the bit, and it's not just about it's about doing it for an endurance time. It is the hour and a half, and that's the bit they've got to learn, the body moving around for that amount of time. But as you've seen from the guys in their race suits, maybe apart from one exception, they're all extremely fit guys now. So that's we've overcome that. We try and choose fit guys as well from the beginning. And the interesting thing was, at the beginning we thought some of these gamers wouldn't be fit. A lot of them are very fit because they're focused guys. They're focused on gaming, they're focused on other parts of their life, whether it be their education, whether it be their work, or whether it be their fitness. So we find fit guys. So that's gone as well. So honestly, all of their different learning areas are very similar. They grow, there's not one area where they're good at that first and then that comes. It all grows together, and we've built the training program around that as well. So they grow physically, mentally. You know, we've got site coaches, we've got physical coaches, we've got training coaches for driving, and we put them in a team that really nurtures them as well from a personal point of view. So a lot of these guys are moving. You know, we've got Mark, you know, moved from Vladivostok to here. We got Steve moving from the US to here. So we put them in an environment where they're comfortable, because you know, athletes of any description in any sport have to be comfortable in their environment. So we put that environment together for them.
There is any, I don't know the word, vicious, one bad thing the gamer do in the circuit?
No.
It's the same.
Honestly, it's the same.
Like a driver,
honestly,
driver, yeah?
No
difference?
No difference.
Maybe the brake before the...
No. Honestly, yeah, the skills are fully transferable. I know. I should. You know, you want me to say, well, actually, the steering, you know, they turn in too early, or you know, they're on the power. Honestly, it's completely transferable, and it's transferable because they're driving different cars online, so they're driving the cars differently, each of the cars differently. So when they get in the car, they just adapt their style, and that's the big difference between a guy of 19, let's say, that we bring in from the academy, and a guy of 19 who's done 10 years of racing and karting and single-seaters. They've got some bad habits. These guys come here, if they've got bad habits, they change them like this, because they learn so quickly, they adapt so quickly, and they're sponges. They just listen to information, and they put that information into practice very quickly. So if they have got any faults, they hide it very well.
Yeah, you seen the trailer, not the trailer, one video here in presentation with GT5 and GT6 about the car and the balance.
Yeah.
You know, this is a difference.
Yeah,
between
it's a difference.
And the driver can feel it.
Oh yeah, the driver can feel that. Yeah, and someone asked me earlier, can the drivers set up the real cars? So in other words, are we just giving them a car that works, or can they tell their engineer, it's understeering here, it's oversteering here, I need to put some more bar on it? They're as good as a normal driver of their age. They get the dynamics of the car, and in some respects they get the dynamics better, because to be good on the game, we know to qualify you've got to find the last tenth of a tenth of a tenth. So they've got to set those cars up in a certain way to get the best out of the car. So it's not a problem for them to feel the car. And in fact, if you look, you know, Jan's a good example. He's fastest in the wet. You know, if you look against a Delta, whether that be another driver or whether that be his teammate, he's at a certain level, but in the wet he jumps forward. Now that doesn't work, does it? He should be better when it's the same conditions over and over again, which is what in the game. In the wet, he's better. So he's got some feel in the car that other people haven't got. Or he's just got bigger balls. I don't know. Probably both.
You get guys, late teens, early 20s, moving from different parts of the world. Do you have to step up and fill other roles as well?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And that's part of it. I mean, they're now... We've changed a lot. We've now got a house here in Northampton, near the circuit. They're given responsibility in terms of buying their own food and everything else, but they're given a point of contact at the academy that's basically their mother, if you like. Then the fitness trainer is also the brain doctor, as we call him, the site guy. He looks after them. He makes sure they're okay. And we make sure they go home regularly as well. So it is an intensive period, but hey, actually a lot of these guys are actually 20 plus, 22 and more. Steve's 29, so these aren't kids necessarily. And actually, to get the full potential of this program, if we find someone who's 18, we'll have more potential. Now the youngest winner, I think Jan, he was 21 when he came on board. It's a bit too old. Really, if we go to 18, maybe we'll find that 3 years difference. We'll find someone that's got even more potential to go faster. So we've got to look after that. Absolutely, we have got a responsibility, and I take the responsibility of safety very seriously. At the beginning, as you can imagine, everyone was very, very nervous. In fact, the reason we chose Dubai 24 hours was because it's a race circuit that's got Formula One safety. There's lots of runoff area. If you go off, you're mainly in the desert, which is helpful. And at the time it had a small amount of cars. It was 40 cars or something for a long circuit. So it was the safest long distance race we could find. That's changed a bit, the Dubai 24 Hours. It's now becoming more and more of an international race. But some people had the crazy idea of doing the Nürburgring 24 Hours as the first race. Come on, guys, come on. So we always try and find the best way, the safest way to bring them on, and safety is very much at the forefront of our mind. So yes, we have to take on different roles. I'm not their mother though, no. I don't know what I am. I'm the bad big brother, maybe.
That's a headline right there. That's a headline right there. DC.
Big brother. Big bad brother.
Big bad
I didn't say bad. I'm a nice guy.
Do you have to cut down on PlayStation time?
No, we encourage it. Absolutely.
They still play the game.
Oh, well, you saw them on the game earlier. Straight away, they wanted to go and play it, and if they play online, I think probably Lucas, because he's been so busy, probably has let his gaming drop off a little bit, but he's more keen and more passionate about seeing what GT6 was. And the interesting thing is to see them around Yamauchi-san. It's like he's a god. So these guys are gamers. You know, they're not guys that want to be racing drivers that have found gaming. They're gamers. They know the history of Yamauchi-san. They know the history of Gran Turismo, and they respect that, and they love the fact that they can meet this guy, and this guy shakes their hand and says, "Thank you for driving for me." I mean, it just, you know, they can't work it out. Really? Okay, because they've respected this guy for years and years and years. So I guess I wouldn't be able to get anywhere near them on a PlayStation at the moment. Maybe you should ask Yamauchi-san to race one of them and see how fast they are. But Wolfgang's very good. He spends a lot of time still on PlayStation. Any other questions? I know you've probably got to move on. There was a lady waving at me a minute ago, so no, she's moved. Maybe if anyone's got one more question.
What do you think about F1 drivers said about their simulators? They're expensive, the most expensive simulators they have in factories.
Yeah, well, I think it's proving the point we've got here. 5 years ago, people just thought we were mad. Now people see Formula One teams using simulators so much. You know, the stories of McLaren getting the data downloaded from the race car, putting it into their simulator, running the simulator overnight on a Friday, setting the car up on a Saturday. It's not doing them very well at the moment, by the way. But you know, people now understand that this isn't such a stupid idea, that actually there is a correlation between simulation and the real world. So it's made our life easier. It's made people realise this is a good idea. And you never know, one day we might get a guy that starts in the virtual world and races in Formula One. Why not? It's coming. Within 10 years that will happen. Might not be us, it might be someone else, but we can say we were there at the beginning. It will happen, definitely. What annoys us as motorsport fans is the money that it takes drivers to get to Formula One these days, and we want to find young, raw talent. We know, within reason, out of 800,000 people in Europe, we found the best driver last year. Is the best 22 drivers on the grid, are they really the best 22 drivers in the world? We don't know, because there's money involved, there's lots of money involved, more than there's ever been. So we are, I said it on stage, we're democratising motorsport, and that makes me proud of the programme. And on that note, the lady's waving at me, telling me it's finished. So thank you very much, guys. Enjoy the rest of the evening, what's left of it.